Fry, excuse me. For those who don't know Fry, this is my baby. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm doing the first ever video of me just sitting down in my apartment. I brought this beautiful chair that I have in my living room. I brought it over to my bedroom. There's a little bit better lighting over here. I tried filming over there, but my apartment doesn't really get that much natural sunlight. So I thought it would be better to just film it here. Today I have a very exciting video for you guys. First of all, I do want to say thank you so much for all the support I've been receiving in my last couple of videos. The response has been great. A lot of you guys joined the channel and subscribed because of my video with Drew from Lone Fox and the Olive Atelier drop that happened just a couple weeks ago. It was an awesome experience and thank you guys so much for joining. I hope that you stick around and you like the videos that I have coming up for you guys, because I have some really fun videos planned out for the upcoming couple of weeks. I'm so sorry I missed last week. I couldn't upload a video. I had a lot going on, but hopefully I can keep it going and keep it moving. So you might see me look around over here because I have my computer to help me out. Today I have a very fun video. If you guys don't know, I went to film school. I went to film school in Florida. It was an amazing experience. So I'm a huge film fanatic and I love combining my two passions of film and interior design. So today I thought it would be fun to talk about interior design in film. So if you guys like this video, definitely let me know down in the comments and I'll turn this into a series, because today this will be kind of like episode 1 of this new series, and we're going to be talking about interior design in film, specifically in Nancy Meyers movies. Let's get started. I made a list of 10 homes in Nancy Meyers movies. It's not 10 different movies, but 10 homes divided through a bunch of movies. I'm not gonna rank these in any particular order. I try to do a kind of like a ranking of her interior design spaces, but I really feel like I couldn't make up my mind between some of these because I really love them. So it's in no particular order, and let's get right into it. So even though I just said that I'm not gonna do any particular order of favorites, I will start with probably my least favorite. But it is one that I really wanted to point out because it is very crucial to the story. Right now we're going to be talking about the apartment in Baby Boom. If you guys haven't seen Baby Boom, Baby Boom is one of Nancy Meyers' first movies. It's not her first, but one of her first. And it's with the beautiful Diane Keaton. It's such a great film. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend it. I'd recommend all of the Nancy Meyers movies that I'm going to be talking about in this video. The movie starts out with Diane Keaton. She has a partner and she has no kids, and she's living in this, I believe it's in New York. She's living in this New York apartment. I'm looking at it over here. As you can see, it's super modern for the time. Obviously we would look at an apartment like this right now and it wouldn't really fit into what we consider modern interiors right now, but for the time it was a very modern apartment. You have a lot of leather, a lot of metals like chrome. You have a lot of great tones, very cool tones. It's not warm at all. It's not inviting in my opinion. It doesn't feel cozy. But this is a perfect representation of Diane Keaton's character at the beginning of the movie. She's a businesswoman. She's very focused in her business life. She's just someone that's very professional and clean. So the apartment is definitely this very clean, minimalist aesthetic. It's very modern with so much gray. There's like basically no color. You can see right now I'm popping up a picture of the kitchen. The kitchen is the only part where we kind of see a little bit of color in her apartment. She has these pink cupboards in her kitchen. You can see there's no handles, again tapping into kind of like that more modern aesthetic that they were trying to go for with this kind of green backsplash. But I feel like we start seeing more and more of her space and start to introduce the colors as she starts to grow as a character. She is put in a situation that she couldn't even imagine. She has to take care of this baby. And you can see her personality kind of start letting loose, and you can see colors being incorporated into her apartment a lot more. But overall, again, this is a very minimalist apartment. Yeah, that's the first space that we have to talk about. Again, not one of my favorites, but I think it is very crucial to represent the kind of character that Nancy Meyers was trying to portray at the beginning of her movie with Diane Keaton's character. Moving on to the next interior in the list, we have this beautiful country home, again in Baby Boom. So halfway through the movie, Diane Keaton's character moves out of this cold and gray apartment in the city and moves out to the countryside. She moves to this beautiful country home, very cottage style. It's this beautiful yellow house with the green shutters, the green roof. This is a complete opposite of what we have been seeing throughout the movie up to this point. The interior is super warm, super cozy. There's so many textures. There's so much color everywhere, and it really shows the evolution of the character throughout the movie. As you can see, it's way more traditional. This is not modern at all. You have such a mix of wood tones and plaid and shiplap, and you have a lot of this country farmhouse aesthetic throughout the entire house, and it's really beautiful the way that they do it. Again, the lighting is super important. You can see that the lights have turned from this cold white blue light into this more softer, warmer yellow lights. I put a lot of pictures of the kitchen specifically for this home because if you guys have seen Nancy Meyers movies, you know that the kitchens are one of the main focuses in her interiors. They're so grand, they're so spectacular, they're beautiful. And one thing that I do want to point out right here in the background of this one picture that I'm showing you right now, there's this beautiful display cabinet, display shelf, where she has all of her bowls and plates and glasses. This is something that Nancy Meyers has in a bunch of her movies. Her kitchens feel extremely curated. If you guys want to recreate a Nancy Meyers aesthetic within your own home, a big thing is to curate your kitchen essentials, your bowls, your Tupperwares, your plates, your glasses, thrifting these kind of things, curating it through time gives it that lived-in, warm feeling, and it doesn't feel so matchy. It doesn't feel so IKEA, straight out of the box, and it just feels more curated through time and lived in. I want to show this picture because when she first moves into this house, she's riddled with problem after another problem. There's so many issues with the house, with maintaining it, the weather. It's such an old house that, you know, it's super fun to see the transformation that the house goes throughout the movie. So if you like those types of movies, I definitely recommend watching it. It's such a fun ride. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this movie and about this interior in the movie. Again, a lot of wallpaper, a lot of textures, a lot of combining woods and textiles, and just a mixture of everything, making sure that everything feels cohesive, but at the same time, really all over the place. It's very curated, and it just gives it this extremely lived in and warm, cozy feeling. For this one, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. I don't want to talk too much about it. This is a beautiful townhouse in New York City. It's in the movie The Intern with Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro. This house is so beautiful, but I will say it's not too much my style. The house is such a classic New York townhouse. The brick outdoor and then the very contemporary interior. We have a lot of mixtures of modern with more traditional. It's a very transitional design style that they're portraying with the house for Anne Hathaway's character in this movie. You can see it has so much color, it has so much home decor all over the place. It has a beautiful fireplace mantle, very like French style, but then you have that kind of, it looks kind of velvety yellow sofa in the back. But what's really interesting about this house is that how they combine more traditional elements with more contemporary elements with more modern elements, and that's what makes it such a transitional home, and that's why it can really apply to a lot of viewers, and the audience can relate to this style of home because it is so broad in terms of its style. It's so transitional that it can really fit with a lot of people's interior design styles. Now we're moving to one of the latest Nancy Meyers movies that I watched. I hadn't seen it before. It's called Father of the Bride. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Father of the Bride, there's 1 and 2. There's 2 movies. It's a duology. This house is incredible. It's the traditional American home. It's everyone's dream. It's so beautiful. The house is huge and it is so traditional inside. You have the built-in bookcases, you have the beautiful fireplace mantle, the rugs all over the house, beautiful warm wood tones, the slip covered sofas. That's something that Nancy Meyers uses in a lot, if not almost all her interiors. If you guys want to recreate her style within your home, a slipped cover sofa, specifically white, it's something that could really give you the look. They could get quite expensive, but the look is so beautiful, it's so traditional, and it can fit with a lot of spaces. You don't have to go too traditional. You can incorporate more transitional and more modern pieces into your home to go hand in hand with these slip-covered sofas. Again, I was watching this movie and I was obsessed with the interior design. The kitchen, again, beautiful. This time, instead of having some open shelving or kind of like a cabinet on one wall with all the open shelving and showing all the kitchen essentials, we have some closed storage at the top, some closed cabinets, but they are glass, so you can still look through. They are lit from within, so the audience can really see every little detail in it. It is such a beautiful home. It looks so lived in. It looks like a house that could go from generation to generation. It's a house that they've owned for years in the movie, and it's so, so beautiful. I want to point out all the colors are so warm. The yellows on the walls, the more muted whites, there's such a huge mix of textiles and textures in this movie. And in this interior, the curtains, the bed sheets, the cushions on the chairs, the couch, the throw pillows, the throw blankets. It's so curated and it's so well planned out and thought out that it makes the whole experience so much more immersive if you're into interior design at all. And I do want to point out really quick, in Father of the Bride 2, there's an add-on to the house, and it's this beautiful nursery room for the upcoming baby, for the family. This room is incredible. It's so beautiful. It's such a dream nursery room. You have the beautiful couches with the feet rests. You have the stuffed animals, the huge giraffes. If you guys saw my antique shopping vlog, I showed it that there was one of these beautiful giraffes, stuffed giraffes. They're really, really big. There was one at the antique mall that I went to, and it was beautiful and it was relatively inexpensive. So yeah, this room is such a dream, and I had to incorporate it here. I had to put it in. Come on, look at that picture. Who doesn't love that? I do want to finish by saying that landscaping is something that's very important in Nancy Meyers movies, but it should be something really important in your home too. Landscape can make or break your house. You can have a beautiful, beautiful home, but if you don't take care of the landscape on the front yard or in the backyard, it can really break your house. You have to pay attention to detail. You see this beautiful grass lawn. You see the beautiful flowers all over the place, the vines growing from the windows going up the house. It really gives it that magical feeling. It's super warm. It gives it kind of like a surreal element to it. It feels unattainable, but of course it's something that's super easy that you can achieve just by taking care of your landscaping, putting thought into it. Don't leave it as a second thought. The same amount of effort that you put into your design within the house, try to put that outside. Try to put that within your landscaping. It's the first thing that people see when they drive up or walk up to your house. So really make sure that it feels welcoming and inviting. So for the next house, I have the beautiful Napa Valley home in the Parent Trap. This is a beautiful, huge house in the Napa Valley, California. It's in a vineyard. This house is incredible. I'm obsessed with it. I recently had the opportunity to watch The Parent Trap on a movie theater. It was a special screening. If you guys don't know, The Parent Trap is one of my all-time favorite movies. So it was so cool to watch it on the big screen. And looking at the interiors while I was at the movie theater, my mind was blown. This is a beautiful house. Let's start with the exterior. It's painted this beautiful warm brown. It has this incredible kind of like woven rattan furniture sets, the outdoor patio sets. It has like a porch that goes all around the house, covered galleria. It has flowers all over, terracotta all over. It's such a warm and welcoming space. And when you walk into it, it follows the exact same thing. You have this very traditional furniture style. You have some beautiful rugs, this incredible chandelier that hangs from the ceiling, these wooden ceilings that are so warm, so inviting. You have this huge fireplace in the middle of the living room. This is all contributing to that warm feeling that Nancy Meyers movies and her interiors give you. And again, in this one, you have to look at the landscaping. Obviously, it's in a vineyard. It's incredible. The location for this house, it's amazing. And you have these vines growing all over the house, up on the walls, to the windows. It's so, so beautiful. I couldn't find that many pictures of the interior of the house, but you guys have seen it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I do want to end with the pool. The pool is incredible. It has so much space for like lounge chairs and to sunbathe by the side. But again, the attention to detail is what matters most. And this next home kind of goes hand in hand with the one we just talked about, because it is another house in the Parent Trap, and this is the London Home. It is such a beautiful house. Really quick, starting off from the exterior, you have this beautiful white siding to the house. Again, the landscaping, the flowers all over, the vines. But then you walk in and you're hit with this beautiful orange wall color that goes all through the entryway, up the staircase, in kind of like this main hall. It's such a beautiful home. You have this gallery wall going up the staircase, which is such a traditional thing to do. You can do it in a more modern way nowadays. It's something that you see all over. So many people have it in their homes, and it works because it's a classic. Right off the entryway, you have this beautiful lounge area, this living room. It feels super cozy, super warm with the mixture of the textiles and the throw pillows and the couch. You have this incredible built-ins by the sides. You have the dining room on the back. Everything feels very connected. It's not so much open space, but the house has a very comfortable layout, at least as it is portrayed in the movie, of course. But you can see all the crown molding, the wainscoting, the French doors, everything ties together so beautifully. One room that I'm obsessed with in this house is the library or study room. It's where Lindsay Lohan's grandpa in the movie spends most of his time smoking cigars or reading the newspaper. But it's such a beautiful, traditional, classic study room or library. It has this beautiful wooden built-ins from floor to ceiling, this super traditional leather couch seat, this wooden desk. There's newspapers all over, and you can see that same way that everything in the kitchen feels very curated with all the kitchen essentials. It's the same with the books in the bookshelf. Everything feels very curated, very lived in, like a collection that you have collected for years and years and years, decades. And that's why Nancy Meyers interiors are so special to me, because they don't feel like sets. They just feel very curated, very real. They feel lived in. They feel extremely thought out, well planned out. But I want to go really quick up the stairs, and you head into the master bedroom. It's the mom's master bedroom, and it's this beautiful, luxurious, rich, expensive, very regal style master bedroom. You have this humongous bed that feels so soft. You have so many throw pillows. You can see how inspired this interiors are by the French interior design style. With the nightstands, with the bed, with some of the paintings, the furniture, everything is very like French Parisian, and it's just so beautiful and luxurious. And one last thing that I want to point out about this interior is, again, the attention to detail. Elizabeth's character, the woman that owns this house in the movie, she is a fashion designer, and she has these beautiful sketches, this beautiful artwork around her house. It's these sketches that feel hand painted by her, but again, it's the attention to detail that matters most and that makes these interiors so worthwhile talking about. So for the next one, we have one of the best houses that Nancy Meyers has ever done, and it's in one of my all-time favorite movies, The Holiday. So I have two homes that I'm going to be talking about from The Holiday. One of them being this incredible LA house. It's this beautiful mansion. It's such a perfect representation of this transitional style where you can see such contemporary and traditional pieces mixed with this beautiful modern pieces. But the house doesn't feel cold at all. Even though it starts to go more modern, she keeps that warmth by still having that incredible mixture of textures, those textiles, having the slip coverage sofas, the beautiful fireplace in the living room. Everything again feels so curated. On the exterior, it's this beautiful kind of Spanish style home with the terracotta tiled roof and the beautiful white walls. It has this incredible pool on the exterior. Incredible pool, probably the best pool in any Nancy Meyers movies. This kitchen is anyone's dream. It's so special that if I'm not mistaken, there's part of the soundtrack by Hans Zimmer for this movie. One of the songs is called Dream Kitchen, and it's the scene where we are kind of introduced to this kitchen for the first time through Kate Winslet's character. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I urge you to go watch it. You have to watch it. It's so good. Again, look at the attention to detail in this home. You have the beautiful landscape in the exterior with all the vines, the trees, the flowers everywhere. But then you go inside and you have such curated rooms. Slip covered chairs on the dining room, slip covered sofas. You have a beautiful mixture of wood tones. You have this rich, dark wood tones, but then you also have this lighter wood tones around the house. You have the lighter wood tone on the ceiling. It's this beautiful kind of like grayish tone, but it still feels very warm because of the undertones. When you guys are selecting woods for your home, you gotta really take into consideration the undertones of your wood. You don't want it to pull to green, you don't want it to pull to yellow, to red, to purple. You gotta really think about the undertones of your wood and not just the main color of the wood of your stain. You have a couple living rooms, a couple dining rooms. You have so many seating areas. It's so important to create conversation areas. This is something that I incorporate into my own apartment, something that I try to encourage in everyone's space, is that no matter how big or small your space is to try to think about different conversation areas. The way you lay out your living room is very important. You have to think, do you like to have guests over? Do you like to host? If so, how are you gonna have the guests sitting around your areas, around your rooms? So you have to create the specific conversation areas, and that's something that's done extremely well in this movie. One thing that I really want to point out really quickly is another thing that you'll see in a lot of Nancy Meyers movies is these beautiful windows all around the main area of the home. These French doors that open into the patio or the backyard. It just makes the space feel so open and so rich. Next home I have is, again, one of my favorites because it feels so fantastical. It feels so surreal. It's such a beautiful home. And of course, I'm talking about the beautiful English countryside cottage in The Holiday. This cottage is so warm, so cozy, so inviting. It's incredible to think that they actually built this entire home for the movie. All of the exterior was built for the movie, but look at the attention to detail again in the landscaping. Even though that house wasn't there, it's just the facade. It's not a real house. They built everything to make it look real. All the landscaping is extremely well thought out. And moving into the house, there's so many areas in this house that I want to talk about. The living room. It's so traditional, it's so classic. You have these beautiful wooden beams around the house. Wooden beams are my dream. I love wooden beams. And then you have, again, slip cover sofas and lounge chairs. You have this beautiful kind of like reading nook in the back near the window. It just makes you want to be there, spend a winter, a Christmas, and New Year's there. There's so much everywhere. This is not minimalistic at all whatsoever. Going into the kitchen, it's so colorful, it's so traditional. You have the curtains by the window on top of the sink. You have this kind of like baby blue color all over the cabinets. You have this super cool round kind of like round dining table, kind of like this breakfast nook in the middle of the kitchen, and then this beautiful fireplace, of course, by the side. And you can see on top of the fireplace, again, pointing it out, the beautiful curated set of china, the plates, all the kitchen stuff. You have this beautiful use of whites and blues. It feels so traditional, and you can see again that it feels so curated. If you guys go to thrift stores, if you guys go to vintage malls, or even flea markets, you can find these types of things. There was an estate sale that I went to. I shared it with you guys on the channel, and it has such beautiful china, and it reminded me so much of Nancy Meyers movies because it felt so curated. I want to show in this picture again, you have this beautiful kind of like china cabinet with this open shelving at the top for mugs and plates and bowls. And again, it's just this curation of items all around the house. If you go up to the master bedroom, up the little staircase on the side, you have this traditional bedroom. It feels very warm. You have a bunch of blankets on the bed. It gives it this really grand and fluffy, very inviting feeling. I love my bed. My bed is really tall. It has a bunch of blankets. I have a throw blankets, and I have a comforter, and I have a quilt, and then I have a bunch of throw pillows. It really gives it that curated look, a very designer look. Obviously not in this specific space in the movie right now in the cottage. It feels very realistic, very approachable. Take a look at the lighting. Look at how many table lamps they have. In this picture, we can see four table lamps because lighting is so important. Again, everything is very warm. One last thing that I want to point out about this house, of course, is the iconic bathtub. If you guys seen this movie, then you remember this bathtub, this tiny bathtub that Cameron Diaz tries to fit in. It's kind of like encapsulated with this beautiful stone walls, this tiny little window, this wooden ceiling, the wooden floors, and it's just this beautiful, very classic bathtub. It's obviously tiny, but it just feels so special, and that's what gives this movie such a magical feeling. You guys have to watch The Holiday. We're nearing the end, coming up to the last two houses. We're gonna talk about the house from It's Complicated. It's this beautiful home in Southern California, very Spanish style home with the terracotta ceiling again. Take a look at the landscaping. I can't talk about that enough. This house is so beautiful. It has such a transitional style again, so it can fit to a lot of you guys' interior design styles. The layout of this house is very open concept, but at the same time, again, like all of her other movies, something that you have to point out is that every space feels very individual. As I was talking before, the conversation areas are a huge thing within this movie. So obviously you gotta get characters to have different conversations in different parts of the home. So everything has to flow very smoothly, and it definitely does. You have the beautiful dark wood flooring with this grand dining table. As you can see right here, they have this slip-on cushions. They're this orange tone. Going into the kitchen, this is probably one of the best kitchens of all of Nancy Meyers movies, if not the best. This might be my favorite kitchen. It is so beautiful. Obviously Meryl Streep's character in this movie is a chef. She has her own coffee shop. She is cooking for most of the movie. The kitchen really represents that. The kitchen really looks extremely curated, extremely lived in. You have so much glassware and plates and bowls and ceramic bowls all over the kitchen. You have this beautiful use of the copper pots that are hanging right there off the side. If you remember, that was also something used in The Father of the Bride kitchen. But again, you have this beautiful marble kitchen island. Everything is very grand. This big window on top of the sink. It just feels so warm, so inviting. But you can see it has a lot of modern touches too. It doesn't have to be too traditional. Don't be afraid to mix and match your styles, because that really makes for such a curated and well thought out space. Right here in the living room, again, those white slip covers so fast. This big coffee table in the middle with a curation of books, of coffee table books right on the coffee table. The lighting super important, very warm lighting. You can see the mix of colors and textures with the throw pillows, the throw blankets. You have a lot of oranges and you have a lot of blues. There's always centerpieces, there's always floral arrangements. Everything just feels so grand. Her bedroom is super simple. It's very traditional. You can see this beautiful vintage wooden bench at the foot of the bed. This is something that has become such a huge trend. It's something that we see all the time from designers such as Amber from Amber Interiors or Shay from Studio McGee, having this vintage wooden benches at the foot of your bed. It adds a lot of texture to your space. I have one of those wooden benches in my living room. I love it, and it's something that you can really find anywhere nowadays because it has become such a big trend. Coming up on the last interior space that I'm gonna be talking about. If you guys love Nancy Meyers movies, then you know that I'm gonna be talking about the beautiful Hamptons Home from Something's Gotta Give. This house, this beach house is so incredible from the exterior to the interior. The landscaping on the outside, the beautiful style of the home, it's so Hamptons traditional. It's such a traditional beach house. It's humongous. Going in, there's so many spaces that we have to talk about. The living room, let's start off with the living room, one of the main spaces, this beautiful built-in shelves that go from floor to ceiling. Everything is very white, everything is very clean. It feels very, very beach style home. You have this beautiful striped rug on the floor, this white slipped cover sofas. You have a lot of mixture of textures. It's very important to mix textures in your space to make it feel very curated, to make it feel really, really well thought out. It's all around this main fireplace with this beautiful mantelpiece and this beautiful artwork on top. But you can see, again, a lot of warm lighting. There's so many floor lamps, table lamps. You have this, like I was talking before, this beautiful, incredible, massive wall of windows and doors that goes out to the patio, to the pool, to the backyard, to the beach in this case, which makes it so special. You can see the layout of this living room is super, super important. You have two main couches and then two separate chairs on the side. They're all around this humongous kind of like Ottoman style coffee table with, again, trays and flower arrangements on the top. The dining room is very classic, very traditional with the chandelier, the dining chairs with the slip covers, the beautiful built-in shelf to display the china. I mean, this is an entire wall of china. It's incredible. It's so beautiful. Everything feels so clean. It's very maximalist, but it's so clean. It doesn't feel cluttered. That's something about Nancy Meyers spaces, is that it doesn't feel cluttered. You can see that the walls in this home are all white, but then you have the darker tone in the wood on the floor. So it's like this beautiful contrast with one another. It's very level. It's incredible. It's massive. You have this beautiful cabinets with the glass door so you can see inside. This incredible oven and range hood. This feels very traditional but kind of modern at the same time, with this big kitchen island. If I'm not mistaken, you have two sinks in this kitchen. The main sink obviously being in the kitchen island. You can see right there on this picture another sink right by the window. You have windows all over. You have this beautiful white cabinet. Cabinets and cabinet doors, but then this dark kind of like black brass handles that gives it a very modern kind of traditional look. There's china and pottery and sets all over, mugs all over, and finishing up with the master bedroom. The master bedroom in this home is mind-blowing. It's incredible because it combines the sleeping space with a kind of lounging area with an office space. It's all surrounded by windows where you can see the exterior, in this case the beach. It's so beautiful. Natural light is so important in the home. Again, like I'm literally filming this in a corner of my room because of the natural light, which is so important. You can see that we have a lighter wood stain on the floor in this room, but then we have kind of like those darker, more warmer tones in the wood in the desk and the side tables. You have this beautiful kind of like lounge chair on the side. So much lighting. You have a little bit of overhead lighting, but again, you also have table lamps, you have floor lamps. There's a lot of conversation areas, a lot of seating areas. If you want to put on your shoes, if you want to change, throw something on it, throw your bag, throw some clothes over a chair. You don't want to put it on your bed. There's so many options within this room. It's so grand, it's so luxurious, it's so beautiful. It's very light, very airy, and that really conveys the look of a beachside home. And this is truly my favorite interior from Nancy Meyers. It's so incredible. But that's it, you guys. Those were the 10 interiors from Nancy Meyers movies that I really wanted to talk about. Let me know if you guys enjoy this type of video. Let me know if there's another director or a series of movies that you would like me to talk about, and talk about the specific interior design within those movies. I feel like Nancy Meyers is so well recognized because of her interiors and her interior design style, because it is so efficient, it feels so inviting, and it really, really works. So I really wanted to talk to you guys about her, wanted to share her interiors. I really wanted to kind of like share this side of film mixed with interior design, to kind of incorporate it a little bit more in my channel and share this with you guys. So if you like this series, if I should do another episode talking about other movies and other interiors within film that you would like me to talk about, definitely let me know. Give me some recommendations, leave it in the comments, and I'll make sure to check it out. But thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun just sitting here and talking to you guys about these movies. I love them so much, and I love these interiors so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a like. Let me know in the comments what other kinds of videos you would like to see from me. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so that you can be notified every time that I post and upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.